Hello there. Today we are going to look at how to create an MLA format works cited page for your essay project number 1. So I'm going to walk you through a few tips on how to create the essay and format your essay in MLA format, but mostly focusing on the works cited page and how to create an entry. So I'll be going back and forth a little bit, so I hope my mouse doesn't distract you too much. But this is my essay. So in order to start your essay, you want to make sure that you have your paper in MLA format. So your first name, the course number, my name, and the date. And the date is in a different format. So I'm creating this video on January 4th, so it would be 4 January 2020. Then you skip down to one line and center it and do your title for your essay. Then you skip down one line and you begin your essay right away. Okay, so let's just pretend like I wrote my essay here. Now notice there are no extra spaces right now. In MLA format, everything does need to be double spaced, so you are going to go through and double space everything. But between your header and your title and your essay, there are no extra spaces, so make sure that you have that in the correct format. Also, Times New Roman is the recommended font for MLA format. It also does need to be in 12-point font with 1-inch margins. If you have a newer version of Microsoft Word, it already defaults to 1-inch margins. If you are using an older version, you do need to go into Format, Document, and adjust the margins to make sure that they are 1 inch each. The other thing that's important to have on here is your header. And the header is a running header, which means that every page will automatically have that header. This is part of MLA format. So what you would do is go into the very top of your page in Microsoft Word and double click, and this blue box shows up. You're going to align right, and you put only your last name, not all capitals, just capital letter at the beginning, lowercase letters, and then you go to Insert Page Number. Let's go up here. Insert Page Numbers. Align right, show number on the first page. Okay. Then you double click out of it and you see it grayed out. This means that on the next page, as I continue to write my essay, it will say Collier 2, Collier 3, and it will continue going that way. Okay, so if this is my essay, we'll say that I'm done here. The next page is where our works cited page begins. So no matter how far your essay goes, even if it's the very last line or even if it's only one line on a page, you still have to go all the way down to a brand new page in order to start your works cited page. On the very first line, you're going to center it and you title it Works Cited. Press enter, this is being double spaced, and align left. You do not make extra spaces in between your title and your citations. Okay, so going to the Purdue OWL website, this is the link that I've sent you guys, MLA General Format. You look over here and this shows you here how to cite various types of sources. So if you're citing a book, you're going to look for the book. If you're citing a website, go to electronic sources. So I'm going to just model how to go through an electronic source. Okay, if you scroll down, this tells us everything that is going to end up being in your citation, anything that's available. If the information is not available, you just leave it blank. So for example, if you're reading an article and it doesn't directly state who the author was who wrote it, you would just leave that blank and you would start with the title of the article. So I'm going to show you a page on a website. Okay, so I'm looking at this article that we read. San Diego will soon have rent control, what renters and landlords need to know. So I need to go back and forth and gather all of this information. So I always have my Purdue OWL site open because even I don't have this information memorized. Very few people memorize how to cite a source. So the first thing that needs to be in my source, my citation, is the author's name, last name, comma, first name. So this article happens to have the author's name, so that's what I start with. Then I put a period, one space. The next thing that goes into my citation is the title of the article in quotation marks. Quotation marks. What renters and landlords need to know. Period, quotation mark. The next item that goes into my citation is the container, where this came from. And I can look back over here and it shows this here. Title of container, which is, again, where that source came from, what website. And this is in italics. So this is from the San Diego Union Tribune. This is the container. So in italics, one space, italics, the San Diego Union Tribune, period. Okay? Unless you're reading a scholarly article, you are not going to have a version number or any of that information. So going down again to a page on a website. After the container, oh, not period, sorry, comma, and italics. Then you're going to have the date of publication if that's available. So I'm going to look back at here. Yep, this was written October 25th, 2019. So 25th October 2019. And then we have a comma after that. And then you have the URL. The URL does not have the http://. So it's everything else. So copy and paste that. Even though it is quite long, that's okay. And you may need to remove the hyperlink so that you can edit that. Oops. See if I can remove that again. Okay. I'm not sure why that didn't remove. Okay. And if it's not going to continue on the same line, that's okay. You can leave it like that. It'll get a little bit different anyway when we go to format it. After you have the URL, you end in a period. And then you have the access date. This is the date that you looked at the article. And the reason why it's important to put this is because if somebody is checking your sources and they go to the link and it's not there anymore, you will, or something has changed, they will be able to see that when you viewed it, that's when they had that current information. This is especially relevant in revolving research. So as something gets updated, you can say, oh, this was the time that I looked at it, and this is what it showed when I looked at that. So I'm going to put accessed, and then today's date, period. This is technically optional in MLA format, but it is recommended that you have that there. Okay, period at the end, and that is about it for a page on a website. So all of this needs to be black, so let me make sure that's the right color. And as I mentioned previously, MLA format is always double spaced. Okay, the last thing that's important to understand for MLA is how to do a hanging indent. This gets a little bit tricky if you're using a different format than Microsoft Word, like if you're using Google Docs, but you should still be able to do it. What you're going to do is highlight your entire works cited page, all of your sources if you have multiple sources, or you could do one source at a time, and make sure that you can see the rulers at the top and the side of your page. You see this item that looks like an hourglass here? There's a top triangle and a bottom triangle. You need to try to break that bottom triangle away. It might take a few clicks. This one happened though once, but sometimes the entire hourglass figure moves. So you want to click just that bottom triangle and bring it in half an inch. When you do that, you can see that it only took the bottom lines and indented them. So that's how you get your hanging indent. Then when you start your next source, you would start it right here, and it would be aligned left again. If you have any questions about the works cited page, I recommend you look at Purdue OWL. It actually goes and shows you a sample works cited page, or if you look at the sample paper, you can scroll down and see their works cited page there.